Alrighty, everybody. Today we are going over Falcon's hero cards, and we're going to be ranking each one in this little tier setup we got going on. Before we start, please like and subscribe. And if you don't know, I wrote a book, Cold Ring Chosen. The links for that are in the details below. Now, please take into account these are my own opinions, and that these are based off 4 encounters against crossbones, 1 in each aspect. So take that into account. And yep. Alright, let's get into it. So our first one is the hero form. Hero form, right here. Hero form I put as a 3. I need to scroll up. There we go. 2/2/2, good stat line. During the player phase, play with the top card of the encounter deck face up. Now, if you know me, I don't like messing with the encounter deck so much. Excuse me, I had an itch. So that kind of turned me off right away. Eagle-eyed response. After you play an aerial card, discard the top card of the encounter deck. He's a 5 hand size, 10 hit points. Okay. So this, I kept forgetting about this. But I know, seeing the other cards, I can see why you would want to do this. To try and get those higher boost icons to the top of the deck for you to use for other cards. It's going to be a 2 because I didn't... It's like I'm not a fan of the encounter deck stuff, but 2/2/2 is good stat line, so I bumped it up to a 3. Moving on to Alter Ego. Alter Ego is somewhere around here. Where is it? Right there. Alter Ego I put as a 2. 3 cost recovery, that seems normal. Birds of a Feather, discard 1 card from your hand. Search your deck and discard power for a bird card and add it to your hand. I did not use this at all. That's probably why it's down to a 2. Hand size 6, hit points 10. Limit once per round. Now, if I maybe have looked better as cards beforehand, I probably could have figured out what exactly are all the bird cards. Which is what? 2... There's 2 cards in his deck that have the bird trait on it. So if we're just looking at his pack in general, not any other cards in the game, that ability is pretty weak, and his kit only came with a small handful of bird cards, so I don't know how strong this really is, honestly. Moving on to Red Wing. Red Wing, sadly, is going to be a 2 for me because I did not play Red Wing at all, but his ability is really cool. 2/1/1/2. Exhaust Red Wing, return him to your hand, and discard the top card of the encounter deck. Choose to either deal X damage to an enemy or remove X threat from a scheme. X is the number of icons in the discard card's boost area. Wild resource. Now, I should have been using this, but I never really took this into effect because my mind is still sometimes set on jump blockers, which I really need to get past and look at the abilities of these people. Because his ability is really decent as long as you've manipulated the encounter deck to your liking. But he's a 2 because I didn't play him enough, which I need to going forward. Moving on to Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is going to be a 4. It's one of my favorite cards on his kit. 2 cost event. Hero action attack. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. You may discard the top card of the encounter deck to deal 1 additional damage to that enemy for each icon in the discard card's boost area. Strength resource. Now this is very strong. It can go up from a 4 to a 7 if you're playing with a 3 boosts in the encounter deck, which I was playing Crossbones. So this was very fun to see and manipulate the deck in order to do this. This is why this is a 4. Same with Bird's Eye View. It is also a 4. 2 cost event, hero action thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. You may discard the top card of the encounter deck to remove 1 additional threat from that scheme for each icon in the discard card's boost area. Match resource. Same concept. If you're manipulating the deck well enough or knowingly enough, this can be pretty powerful from removing 3 to 6. Up, up, and away. This I put as a 1. Hero response defense. After an attacking enemy is given a face down boost card, look at the card and the top card of the encounter deck. You may swap those cards. Draw 1 card for each parent icon and the current boost card's boost area. Energy resource. Now I actually kept forgetting this was in my hand, even though it's a pretty decent card. especially if you pull those 3 boost icons, because you can play this, swap it out. Maybe, I mean, you'll be taking 3 extra hits, but you get to draw 3 extra cards too. So it's up there, and depending on what you want to do or what you can do. But it is a 1 because I just kept forgetting to play it and never played it. Moving on to Falcon's Flock. Falcon's Flock, I gave, where is it? It's right here. I gave a 3. 2-cost support uses 5 bird counters. Remove 1 bird counter from here. Generate an energy resource for an aerial card. Limit once per round. This, what did I make the mark size? A 3? 3 because it's a generate resource generator, which we all love. And at least comes with 5 bird counters. I don't really like it so much because it comes with the counters, which is weird to me. I feel like this is the first support, at least from what I recall, that uses counters on it. But it's good for all his aerial cards because he does have a lot of aerial cards. Moving on to Soup Kitchen. Now, this one I do not have in my kit. It did not come with it, so I need to reach out about that. But after reading that, 1-cost support, alter ego action, exhaust Sam Wilson and Soup Kitchen. Heal damage from Sam Wilson equal to his recovery and reduce the cost of the next ally or support played this phase by 2. Mental Resource, very strong card. You do have to exhaust both Soup Kitchen and Sam Wilson to heal free 3, but then you also get to play an ally or support, reducing it to 2. So if you're playing Red Wing, that's for free, basically. So a good card. I like it. I wish I could play it, but I don't have it. Moving on to Aerial Evacuation. That is actually going to be a 1 in my book. Here, interrupt when another friendly character would be dealt any amount of damage. Discard Aerial Evacuation. Prevent all that damage and change to alter ego form. If that character is a hero, they also change to alter ego form. Strength resource. Now, when another friendly character, so that doesn't mean your identity, correct? So this one is kind of built around like either having allies in your deck or multiplayer. So this was a 1 because I used it once, maybe twice, when I actually had an ally out there. Other than that, I don't see the thought of playing it, maybe to thin my deck and then never playing it again, unless if I'm playing multiplayer, but even then. Moving on to Aerial Recon. Aerial Recon I gave a 2. 1-cost upgrade. Exhaust Aerial Recon and deal a player 1 face down encounter card. Place 1 recon counter here. Interrupt. When a player would be dealt an encounter card, remove 1 recon counter from here instead. Mental resource. Now, I didn't play this one myself per se. I think it's another one of those multiplayer card kind of games. But you can deal any player 1 face down encounter card. So if they're playing someone who likes encounter cards, for instance, this would be very good. You can build it up. There is no limit there. And then for the interrupt, it's used as many times as you want. So you could literally build this up and then do an entire round where nobody gets an encounter card. So not a horrible card, but for solo play, not so much. And you have to really think about if encounter cards are worth it. Moving on to Battlefield Awareness. Battlefield Awareness I put as a 4. It is another card I like. When Falcon uses a basic power, exhaust Battlefield Awareness and discard the top card of the encounter deck. Falcon gets +1 to that power for this use for each icon in the discarded card's boost area. So this is another card where you need to manipulate the encounter deck so it has a lot of icons on there. That way you can get that +1 to his basic abilities. Basic power. I never realized this could work with defending either. I never thought of that. I may have won my protection game or gotten farther if I realized that. But regardless, very strong. I like it. It pairs up with what half of his deck's trying to do. Next up is Draw Their Fire. Draw Their Fire is going to be a 3 for me. After the villain phase begins, discard Draw Their Fire. Falcon does not exhaust to defend until the end of the phase. 1 per player. This is another multiplayer card, but it's still pretty good in solo. You have to discard it, which kind of makes sense. But you don't have to defend. You don't have to exhaust at all to defend. You could defend all four attacks, and you'd still be able to do something on your turn. Plus, pair this up with what was it, aerial recon we were just looking at? Aerial recon. So you could have a turn where you defend all four attacks, and also you don't have to do any encounter cards. So that'd be a really good turn. So these two cards kind of make sense together if you're going that route. Oh, now I can do this all day. That's funny. All right, moving on to Talon Line. Talon Line is going to be a 3. I kind of realized something after the fact. 2-cost upgrade. After you resolve Falcon's Eagle-Eyed ability, discard Talon Line. For each icon in the discard card's boost area, choose one. Ready a character you control, stun an enemy. Strength resource. Now, I always never read a card fully. So discard Talon Line, and then I would just pick one of these. I never realized for each icon in the discard card's boost area, choose one. So if there's 3 icons in there, you get to choose one of these for each 3 of those. That never occurred to me until I was rereading these. So it's actually a pretty good card. Pretty good card as long as you're manipulating everything, right? As I usually say. Vibranium Microwave. I almost said microwave. It's going to be a 2. Falcon gets +1 defense. When Falcon would take any amount of damage, exhaust Vibranium Microwave, prevent 1 of that damage and deal 1 damage to an enemy. Energy resource. Very good card. It gives him a defense, and it basically gives him retaliate, but only once, which isn't horrible, but it is what it is. That's pretty much all I have to say. I feel like this may coincide with the Draw Their Fire card. That way you can defend as much as you can with a +1 defense. That is it for here. So looking at his cards, it feels really like they had an idea for it, but they didn't want to make it too powerful in regards to the encounter deck, so the other half is more focused on multiplayer, I think. In which I think the multiplayer really sets back the, I guess for the solo play, the encounter deck manipulation. But I really enjoyed the encounter deck manipulation more so than the multiplayer focused cards. But it was interesting to see the 1 per player on a hero card. That was quite interesting. But overall, his total score is somewhere. It is 6.5 out of 10. I don't know if I enjoyed him at all. I didn't win any of my games, but pulling off these top 3 cards was really fun to play. But that was about the only time I actually enjoyed playing him. I really wish I have Super Catcher, and I'm going to have to send an email. But other than that, please let me know what you think of Falcon, what your cards are your favorite, which one are your least. If you think this should be rearranged, let me know. Out of 10, what do you think? Other than that, please like and subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Deuces.